Hi, this is Sarah McLaughlin. In this video, we're going to take a look at one of my favorite Nearpod features, the Collaborate board. Collaborate boards are a great place to bring students together to generate diverse ideas, to reflect on those ideas, and to connect their thinking. Let's go take a look. I'm looking at my lesson about plant parts, and I'm going to add some more content using this first button. From here, you can either scroll down or click to get to the discussions where you'll find Collaborate board. If you're using Google Slides in the Nearpod add-in, you'll also see Collaborate board in the add-on panel on the right side of your screen, and the setup is going to look very similar. I'm going to click on Collaborate board so it has the box around it, and then click Add. From here, you're going to see that you have a ton of options. This is a really great, really strong tool for instruction, for engaging students in collaborative thinking, organizing, and starting deeper conversations that can be had beyond the computer screen. So there's a lot to look at. We're going to start one step at a time. First thing I like to do is decide the theme for my board. You're going to notice on the right-hand side, you have a panel with board themes. These are essentially backgrounds you can choose between. As you go down, you'll see they get a little more and more busy. So think about the content and distractibility and choose something that's going to work for your activity. I'm going to stick with this nice wood paneling here. Then you can just scoot that off to the side. Next, you're going to want to think about how you're using this board as an activity. So you might want to consider whether you are having students generate diverse ideas, if you just want them splashing up thoughts, sticky notes, not particularly organized under topics that are predetermined, you'd want to go with grid. If you're thinking you want students to utilize a category and stick their thoughts and resources into specific categories, you'll want to go with columns. Once you select columns, it'll give you this option to add what those categories might be. This is even great for just starting with a KWL. And I'm going to leave off the L for now. Once you send this out to students, these category columns are going to evenly space themselves, so you don't need to worry about manually doing that. The next thing to think about are your student options. So you have two different tabs up here, drop-down menus. So you have two different drop-down menus with lots of options for how students respond to one another and respond to the prompt. The student options are what you're allowing them to do. If you want this anonymous, you're going to want to leave the students can see names off. If you want students to only have one chance at their response and to really thoroughly think it through before posting it, you can leave that editing off as well. If you're concerned about student responsibility with this activity, since if you're using this in teacher-led mode, all students will see all responses, you may want to approve student posts, in which case you would turn that airplane switch on. You can allow students to comment on each other's posts or disallow it. And if you do allow the comments, you can also select to approve those. It just creates an environment where you're going to be a little bit tied to your computer while students are engaging in this particular activity, so you can approve things as they come through. The next drop-down menu here is media types. So on a Collaborate board, it provides a lot of different opportunities for students to respond in diverse ways. Depending on your prompt, you could have students not only type their thoughts, but you can enable them to add images GIFs or GIFs, videos, or to record audio. This is great if your school is working in a UDL model. And again, an important factor here is student readiness, digital literacy, and digital citizenship skills. So if we're struggling with appropriate choices in terms of what we promote to our classmates, you may want to limit some of those options, as well as thinking about the task at hand and whether these options are going to be more distracting or more beneficial to the learning of the group. Moving on from there, you'll notice that you do have the standard Nearpod Add Image, Audio, or Other Media button. So once you define your task, you can add one of these as a resource to students. If you have the immersive reader equipped, students should already have access to hearing your directions aloud if they so choose. So you may not want to waste your one attachment with audio recorder, but you can add other things. So this opens up a lot of possibilities for students to look at resources and analyze them collaboratively on the board. All you would need to do is select one of those, and the standard Connect Your Pieces box will show up where you can pull things from Google or your various clouds or your computer. I'll just put a interesting looking plant to spark some thinking. Next, you get to define what your task is going to be for students. So right here in the Collaborate board topic, it's basically just a title for the board. You only get 60 characters. If you wordsmith very well, you might be able to fit a full question there, but it is quite limited. So you may just want to put, let's think about what we know, or something along those lines. Then in your description, you can elaborate on the task. Once you have your description in there, you've got all of the pieces set, and you're happy with how things look, you can go ahead and click Save. And Nearpod will add your Collaborate board to your lesson. Now, I added this a little late in the game around my thinking, and this really should be probably my first activity. So I'm just going to drag that right up there. That's the Skinny on Collaborate board. Feel free to join another video to learn about some other tools. Happy creating.